So there are some really toxic, self-defeating habits that we musicians tend to have that destroy our careers and any chance for success. And it's time we talk about them. In this video, I'm going to tell you 3 really bad habits that every musician should give up today. Hey, and welcome to Music Space, where we help working musicians just like you learn how to quickly and easily make a living with your craft. So if you're new here to the channel, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you'll be notified when new videos are uploaded. Now, right before we get into this video, if you're a musician looking to make some serious passive income and gain a following and fan base, I'm advising all musicians like this to start a YouTube channel today. Right now, in what's called the creator economy, YouTube continues to be the best platform for musicians to make money and gain a fan base. And because of this, I've created the YouTube QuickStart course. This course is designed to help you get up and running on YouTube really quickly. And the best part is it's completely free and you can get instant access to it at the link in the description of this video. Okay, so these habits that we musicians need to give up are not the typical habits that you would normally see listed under this subject. It's not the drugs and the alcohol, although those things are absolutely important. There are some deeper issues that we need to discuss because I think some of these deeper issues tend to be the foundation of habits like drugs and alcohol and many other things. Now, these habits are in no particular order, but I do think the last one that I'm going to mention is probably the worst one of them all. So be sure to stick around to the end of this video so you don't miss that. So the first habit you need to give up is staying creatively stagnant. It's really crazy how so many of us have just really stopped being creative. And this is a huge problem because being a musician and being a singer is really about expressing creativity. And what happens is we sort of unknowingly or sometimes knowingly subscribe to a lot of these self-defeating limitations and beliefs like we aren't good enough and things like that, and then we stop being creative. We look out on a lot of the social media platforms, the Instagrams and YouTubes and all of that kind of stuff, and we see people doing these things and they appear to be great and they have a huge fan base and a huge following and all of that kind of stuff, and we tend to relate that in our minds as like, well, if I can't do that, I'm not as important, or I can't make the same sort of moves that they're making. And what that does is over time, it sort of makes us just sort of, go back into the background and get into our shells and just, don't worry about it. Like, I can't do that kind of stuff. I'm not able to do that kind of stuff. I can't look that good. I can't sound that good or whatever. And we just kind of stop. And of course that leads to, big significant things in your life, like doing stuff that you don't love rather than, being creative and expressing your creativity, which you would absolutely love to do. But my friend, it's really important that as a musician, as an artist, you stay creative. You stay putting your creativity out. Continuing to express our creativity is really one of the only ways that we continue to grow, because what happens is in that process, as we're creating, we're learning at the same time. And plus, we live in a world today where your creativity has room to flow and room to breathe among everybody. Again, all of these platforms, the social media platforms and stuff like that. Again, YouTube is called YouTube. These are platforms along with a million other ways that we can express our creativity. So it's of utmost importance that we do not stay creatively stagnant. Now, following that habit, another habit that we should give up right now is the habit of comparison. Comparison is the ultimate motivation and creativity killer. When we consistently compare what we do and our talent and, how we operate to other people's talents and what they do and how they operate, we always see a discrepancy there. And one, that's because, let's be honest, we mostly are comparing ourselves to people who we think are better than us or are more advanced than us. And it's really crazy because we do this thing where we compare their highlight reel, which is what you see mostly on social media. You see all of the good stuff. You see them being the ultimate beast at what they do. And you're comparing that highlight reel to your everyday life. And you're finding when you're trying to do that kind of stuff, you haven't learned it yet, or you're not on that level, not thinking that it took them years and, multiple tries to even record the stuff that you're listening to or looking at. But not only that, comparison sort of takes our focus from our road, our path, to comparing it to someone else's race. One of the important things that they say about running a marathon, and of course I wouldn't know, I've never ran a marathon, but one of the important things that they say that you must do when running a marathon is stay focused on your own race and running in your own lane. Because if you don't, what will happen is you'll start to look at others as they pass you, and it'll make you think you need to start running faster and you need to start doing something different. And what will happen is you will burn out because you started running someone else's race. And this is the perfect analogy for comparison and what we do as artists and musicians. It's really important that we stay focused on our own path and our own race, and we're not comparing ourselves to what other people are being and doing and having. Because the fact of the matter is, success requires that certain level of focus to be concentrated. And what happens is when you take that concentration off your path and what you're doing and improving and being more creative and things like that, it slows that process down. Or, at best, like in the marathon situation, you run out of gas really quickly. So it is of utmost importance that we musicians and artists focus on our own path and not compare ourselves to others. Now, I mentioned that this next one is probably the most important one of them all. And I mean that. It's like the Thanos snap of musicians' careers and lives and dreams. But the next habit that musicians should absolutely give up is the need for praise. Okay, so look, we all have a need or desire to feel wanted and desired and feel celebrated. So what I'm talking about here is allowing that need, that desire, to dictate who you are as a person and how you act as a person. The need for praise and acceptance and things like that is at an all-time high. We see it on social media everywhere. We see people doing things on social media just to get attention, just to get praise, just to get likes and subscribes and things like that. And it's to the point to where we've started to do those sort of actions and take those sort of actions so much that we have started to become those people. We've started to become those actions. So as musicians, when people praise us and tell us we're good and we're awesome and oh my God, you are so great and what you did and how you played was so great, we start letting that go to our heads, and then we start acting as if that's the case universally. So we treat people like that. We start to act arrogant and we start to, show up with this chip on our shoulders like, I'm the best at everything I do. And the problem with this is that nobody likes that kind of person. So what happens is, you're trying to set yourself up. You're really trying to be this avatar of something praiseworthy. And, alternatively, you're not liked for it. What we have to do, instead of letting this need, this desire for praise dictate who we are in our actions, we instead have to just be a little bit more confident about who we are and what we can do. It's like, I'm not good because you and, 100 or 10,000 other people tell me I'm good. I'm good because I believe I'm good by my own definitions. And it's cool because that sort of attitude is like an antidote to being controlled and ruled by other people's opinions, because it works both ways. Like if there's 1,000 or 10,000 people out there that think I'm horrible or I'm trash, I'm not horrible or trash because they think I am. Now, I may think that about myself based on my own definitions, but because you tell me that, it's not going to affect me because I'm not listening to you like that. I'm not allowing that to control me. But again, this is important because it's just like, in the other habits where this kind of stuff will make you get off path really quickly. It'll make you start running someone else's race and start doing and acting and being in ways that are not you or not normally you, and you're trying to keep up with this avatar, and that's taxing. Now, these habits are absolutely important and we should definitely give them some consideration, but there are some more habits that you really need to focus on, and that's why you want to check out these videos right now.